Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome back. My name is Stuart and this is Stuart's and Stitches. Today is Sunday the 24th of August and this is Flosstube number 38. It's another Sunday and here I am in my usual place, ready to share my week with you. Looking forward to it. It's a nice morning here in the Central Belt. I see blue sky. The weather forecast bodes well for today and tomorrow is supposed to be sunny. Then it goes downhill. However, we'll take the sun that we get in the blue sky. It's not going to be too hot, thank goodness for that. Anyway, welcome back. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a good week. Lots of stitching, crafting and whatever other goodness has been going on in your lives. It's been a good week for me, one way or another. Lots of stitching done. I stitched every day, which is always a good thing. I had my day retreat yesterday through the Castle Carey, which we'll talk about as we go through the video. What else is there? We'll be doing some whips. We have a finish, which I haven't written down, but I've written down the pieces working on, so that's fine. We have a finish, which I finished yesterday at the day retreat, my first ever retreat finish. Woo! We've got some things off the shelves. We've got an unboxing and some haul, a little bit of bag chatter, and some plans, and I think that'll see us through the next 45 minutes to an hour probably, which is all good. First of all, to my regular viewers on a Sunday morning and during the week, welcome back. It's lovely to have you with me again, or to spend time with you. Thank you for welcoming me into your stitching space and stitching lives. I do enjoy being part of that. To my new subscribers, thank you for taking the plunge and signing up. I hope you continue to enjoy what I share with you. And to those who have stumbled across me through the good fortune of the YouTube algorithm or however other, I have no idea how people find me on YouTube at all. However, you have done, so welcome. I hope you do enjoy what I'm sharing today. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment, and think about subscribing and ringing the bell. If you ring that bell, you'll get notified every time I post, which generally is on a weekly basis on a Sunday. Thank you to all who left comments on my last video. Much appreciated. I do enjoy, as you know, I do enjoy reading these and what you share with me in the comments. It's always good to have the dialogue and feel part of the community. It's a kind of, not an antisocial hobby, but it's at times it can feel maybe a lonely hobby when we're the only ones stitching. And this medium, this floss tube, does help link us to all the other stitchers around the globe, which is great. Who knew I'd be talking to people who are down under or in Europe or over the pond? It's just a wonderful thing. So thank you for the comments. Please do keep them coming. Always let me know what you're working on. It's always good to see me scurrying off and a wee bit of research around Google and Etsy. These two seem to be the guilty parties that I usually land up in when I'm watching or reading through the comments. It's always entertaining to see what people are choosing. Quite a few things are now sitting in my basket in Etsy waiting for me to at some point push a button on a few of them. So that's always good fun. So yes, please do keep the comments coming. Great. I do respond to all of them one way or another. I'm getting better at that. I go through them all on a daily basis. Carl always likes to know what's the gossip. You know, I don't know what he thinks we all do. However, he always likes to know. For guys, people have got to know. I wonder how many people will understand what I'm referring to there. Leave a comment. You know what to do. Right. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So we're into whips first, and we'll do temperature stitching. Quick recap of what my temperature stitching is. Always fills in 10 seconds. 0 to 9. Number digits applied to 10 projects I have. I then check the BBC weather app on that day and look at what the high temperature is. If it's in double digits, which at this time of year it is, I will take the second digit and that will determine what I'm stitching on. So if it was 20, which it was one day this week, that's 0, which tells me I've stitched on Love Lives Here. There's a spoiler alert. Well, the alert is now been and gone. There's a spoiler. There's no alert. And I would stitch 100 stitches or for an hour on it if I'm not counting the stitches. Either of those things will get progress on that piece. When I started temperature stitching, it was only going to be for 10 days. Each piece got 10 appearances and then it will be rotated out. However, that has changed and it will be done until either it's a finish or I come to a convenient stopping point, which is logical to my mind. Or I get fed up and it gets rotated out, which happened this week. We had a casualty and we had someone else that came in. So, swings and roundabouts. Right, so let's have a look what we've got down here. So we'll have the casualty first, see that's at the front of the pile. So, this piece, it's not because I didn't like the piece at all. I love it. It's a Theresa Wentzler piece, and you all know about me with my Theresa Wentzler projects. This is Above the Clouds. It's one of the miniatures. There's a close resemblance to the castle, as we all know. And I'm stitching this with all the called for goodies, which are a small selection here. Doesn't look a lot. Well, actually, it's not bad. But then by the time you do the blends, and you know the blends. Well, then there you are. Now, somebody was mentioned yesterday about the Theresa Wentzler. They were concerned about how to handle all the blends, which is a valid concern for Theresa Wentzler pieces. There are many ways of doing this. There are as many ways as there are stitchers, as is always the case. I, using a shredded wheat box, or what used to be is it shredded wheat? How's that look about it? From, oh my, this is an oldie, from 2015. Cardboard lasts. I have holes punched down the side. This started off life as being the project organiser for this, as you'll see from the numbers. I then decided when I put my threads onto the key rings that this would then become the blend card. So as you can see, I've got symbols for the blends written down there with whatever I've been working on from. I just make the blend up as I need it. And then what's left over when I finish that section goes onto the card. Works for me. Each to their own, your mileage may vary, as they say. But that's how I do my blends, if anybody was interested. And here's where we are. So this has been stitched on a piece of 28 count Ceridwen Monaco from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Sorry, I'm pausing here because it's looking a bit dark on my screen. Let's see what happens when I hold this up. Aye, there we go, you can see it. I was looking at myself, see where I was. Oh, you can see it fine, that's alright. I might pause a wee now and have a play around with the lighting. Anyway, that's what it looks like. That's where we are. So I've been working just across here. In this area here, the hill, the mountain top really. So that was getting 100 stitch, well, about an hour a day roughly. But that really wasn't working for me for this, for temperature stitching. This piece is not, in my mind, suitable for temperature stitching. It needs a good run at it because by the time when I pick it up, by the time I actually work out where I am, and then get the threads sorted and blended up, and away we go. An hour can go, and I will maybe only go about 50 stitches in, which is kind of making a mockery of my own plan for my temperature stitching there. I mean, 100 would normally get me, an hour would normally get me about 100 or so stitches, and I really am not going to give this 2 hours a day just for temperature stitching. That's so not going to happen. There's too many other things that need to be done. So I decided, okay, that's just going back to the whip pile, and we'll either, if, and this is just an if, I've never done it before, if I do whip go next year, then it would go into my whip go. But I think with my other plans I've got ongoing, I don't think whip go is going to be a thing next year for me. But nonetheless, it's going back in the shelf. So say goodbye to Above the Clouds. I enjoyed making the start on it. So it's well underway, which is good. We have a loose thread somewhere. Right, there we go, let's get that out of the way. So that's that done. This is one of my bags. For those of you who are new, I make bags. I make project bags in various sizes and of various ilks. So there's this one. There's a nice K facet fabric. Vinyl fronted. So I do vinyl fronted and full fabric bags. And I am branching out into the project portfolios as well. I just haven't done any more since I made my prototype because I haven't had time. I don't know. This used to be a cliche in my mind that when you're retired, people would say, I don't know how I found time to work. I am now the living proof of that. I honestly don't know how I found time to work. My day, I wake up and in the nearly 2 years now, 2 years coming into this year, since I withdrew from the world of work, I have not been bored. I have not woken up any morning thinking, what am I going to do today? I have nothing to do. No. Each day, it can be 5 o'clock and I'm thinking, what did I actually get through today? Where did the day go? How dare it? I feel like I could grab it at the scruff of the neck and holding it back. But Yeah, for those of you who are in the very fortunate state of being retired, you'll know exactly what I mean, I'm sure. Anyway, that was the first temperature stitching. Next one up is Love Lives Here. So Above the Clouds, came out on Tuesday when we reached the celestial heights of 17. It was nice. It was a bit cooler this week, thank goodness. So it's got an hour on Tuesday, and then the decision was made to call it. So that will now return to the shelf. Temperature stitching took a bit of a hit this week. I'm looking back through my diary here, so I'm looking down. You're getting the bald pate. Because just various things. I mean, I didn't do it last Sunday because what was I doing last Sunday? I think I was making bags. Thursday seems to be not a day for temperature stitching now, and yesterday I was away, so I didn't take temperature stitching with me, and nor did I was a very naughty boy. I didn't do it when I came back, which is what I should have done. And I've no idea what it would have been yesterday. I normally write it down, but who knows? The day is now gone. Right, so this piece, Love Lives Here, this is by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is heading slowly towards a finish, which I'm very delighted about because I started in 2022. That's what it will look like. I'm hoping the lighting's alright for you all. Chart coming out, let's put that to the side. You don't want to see, well, you might want to see the chart, but you're not getting to see the chart. That's mine, all mine. Right, threads. I love that red. And here's where we are. We have a stray thread from when I stopped. I'm working up a tree at the moment. So, this week we finished the picket fences here. Put the wee... No, we didn't. That's let's try this side. I was thinking I did a lot more this week than I thought I had. So this week we did finish the picket fences. Start again. Finished these picket fences. Did the 2 birdies, and we've started the tree. That got me my 100 odd stitches this week. So all that's left really is to finish that tree so that it looks like that. And then we've got the house in the middle. Big ass house. And it's done. And it looks so good. I'm very pleased with how this is turning out. So there's a finish on the cards for this. Well, it depends on the weather gods. If you'll forgive the heresy. How often this appears, but the finish is beginning to creep up over the horizon. That's been stitched in a piece of 32 count fibre in a whim called Latte. It's rather nice. I might need to see if I can source some more of that somewhere. And that would have come from Peakside Needleworks here in the UK. So Peakside's always very helpful and always very quick to get stuff out when you make your order. She's up there with Arts and Designs. If you order in the morning, it generally will make that day's post. Well, I haven't ordered for a while, but that was used to be the paradigm that was worked to, which was great. Right, let's have a look. Just sneaking this back into its bag. Bit of a tight fit because it's in the Q-snap, and I know it fits, so it's going in. Right, so that was that one. What else was there this week? So we've done Love Lives Here, Above the Clouds. Right, so there's just the other piece to talk about. So this is a new piece that came into my rotation for it. I do have a picture somewhere. Ah, here we are, and the threads. I was organised last night when I went to bed. I set up my tripod and I moved things around a bit. So this is from Janine McGowan of The Blue Flower. It's a piece that's been on the go for a long time. I was inspired to start this at the Scottish Stitching Retreat some years ago now. By some years, I do mean before lockdown, I think. Yes, because this came out in 2018. There was a lovely lady there. I was stitching this piece, and must have been in the early days in the retreat. We were at Castle Carey, so it must have been either the second or the third one. And she was stitching this. I'm deliberately not saying her name because I haven't asked her permission for that, and I know that she's a bit shy around social media. So we'll respect that. And the piece that she inspired me to start was The Quilting Bee by Janine McGowan. So it's the centre part. The model stitch has been finished off in a nice fabric round it, which would actually make rather a pretty bag. I didn't know better, I'd say that was a bag with the mitered corners and all that. Who knows? But there we go. That's what it's going to look like. This is being stitched in a piece of 40 count. I think this is my first ever 40 count project. 1/2 on using the called for over dyed threads, which are Classic Colourworks and Gentle Arts. That's the colour palette, rather pretty. And here's where we are. It's a bit skew because of the way it's in the Q snap, but that's what it's looking like. It's not too bad, is it? Bringing it in. So this week when I picked it up, I worked up this border here, and then I did that motif and that motif. So we're nearly at the top of the design, and we'll start turning the corner. So there's a wee repeat of this baby down here is up at the top, and we'll turn the corner, and then I'll make a start in the wings, which are quite big. There's quite a lot of stitching in there, which is quite good because it's only 2 colours. So that'll be fine. I'll bang in the wings, the other wing in this side anyway, and there's another motif goes in here as well, which we'll get in. But this is ideal for temperature stitching. I loved it. There's nice wee bits that I can just nibble at and get progress on. So there's the quilting bee. There's 2 or 3. There's a sleeping bee, which I also have, and there's the Tudor bee, which I don't think I have yet, but is on my radar of a bee that I wish to have. I love this motif here. That's rather splendid. I do like the colours. I think this was my first time using, when I started this many years ago, this was my first time on 40 count. I think it was also my first time using over-dyed threads. Some of the colours maybe are a wee bit lost down here, but in real life I can see them, so that's what matters. So the quilting bee will make regular appearances. I hope you like her. I do, I think she's lovely. So, thank you to my friend who enabled me on this many years ago. I'm saying that, I have no idea if the lady in question actually watches me. You never know who watches you. Yesterday, for example, but we'll come to that. Hang on, just let myself organise here, I don't want to lose things. Go there. This isn't in a project bag, it just kind of hangs around. You know, things just hang around. Right, you can sit down there till I'm ready to dispose of you somewhere. Right, that was the temperature stitching for the week. It's a good week's progress on the pieces that were called for. So next up is Saga. So we have stories on Saga. Oh, that reminds me, I haven't done it. Oh, I'll need to do it next week for its last appearance. So on Saga, if you watch Andrew, when Andrew works in an arch, he tells a story about the arch, because Jules, the wonderful lady behind Long Dog Samplers, produced a PDF of stories for each of the arches. And the lady asked me in the comments last week, and I completely forgot, would I be reading out the stories for the arches? Now, one, she said it in the plural, stories. My dear, I admire your optimism on my progress, because I'm not getting anywhere near starting this second arch. Well, I might get a start in the second arch, but there'll be no stage where I'll be ready to read a story. But I'm certainly ready to read a story on the first arch. So I'll take a note on my crib sheet for Flosstube 39, print off the story. So I've even got my tablet in here, so I can't read it off. My tablet's downstairs charging up, because I was away yesterday, so Carol was gaming merrily on the tablet, much to the juice eating of it. Flosstube 39 next week. Saga story. Let's write that on there. Print. I remember looking it up, so the thought was in my mind. So why am I doing Saga? I'm so glad you asked. However, there is a sad story behind it as well this week. Those of you who follow along regularly will know that Andrew, the runner stitcher, was, and you all know the use of the term was, training for the Sydney Marathon, which is due next Saturday. However, sadly, due to circumstances beyond his control in his personal life, he's having to move, and all that is happening this coming week. Which means that the marathon he can't run the marathon now, which is a huge shame, because this is the last week of the training as well. He's been training since May, We've all been in the sidelines cheering and clapping along, supporting him with our projects. But good soul that he is, he's keeping up his training this week and will run. He told us this news in his update last week, but kept his training up, and he's still running to good times. And he's going to run this week as well through to the end of the week. And I don't know what he's going to do Saturday yet, because why would you run 26 miles when you're not actually taking part in a marathon? Why would you put your body through that? But then I'm probably a good 20, 30 years older than him, and my body, no, that would never happen. That never happened to my body when I was his age, hell's teeth. Let's be honest here. So running alongside that, note the pun, running alongside that, he set up a challenge called the Whip Into Shape for us all to support him in his training. So he has a spreadsheet with his training, which he has a habit of adjusting every now and again, catches you unawares sometimes. You think, oh, I've got a rest day today, and then you look and you think, oh, bother it. Haul it out, get my 100 stitches in. He was good enough to do the run, I'll be good enough to do my stitching. Anyway, generally there's 2 rest days a week, which is good. It gives you a nice wee break. And he suggested that on his training schedule, for every mile he ran, you would do 10 stitches, or you would stitch the amount of time it took for him to do his training run that day. Which is very good and very sensible, but for me, I'm not going out of bed for just 10 stitches a mile. So I decided to do 100 stitches every day he actually trained. Jason Marie was doing 26 stitches per mile. 26 stitches per mile, because a marathon is 26.2 roughly miles. Unless you're doing something I heard about yesterday which made my jaw drop. The dopey run. Somebody was telling me that they do that down in Disneyland, I think it is. You run a 5k, a 10k. I don't know if there's anything in between that. You run a half marathon and then you do a marathon, and these are back to back on 4 different days. And I'm sitting there thinking, why would you do that to yourself? But more power to you if you've managed that. Well done. I would take my hat off to you if I was wearing it, but good on you. Suffice to say, that's never going to be cross-married at us. Something I must do. Right. So enough of the taradiddling in the preamble. What did we do this year? I'm working in the border of the second arch now, because the first arch is completely finished. And we breached the 10% mark on this project, so I'm absolutely delighted with that. And we breached 10,000 stitches, so 2 milestones. We're at 10,753 stitches at 10.26%, which is tremendous. I'm so pleased with that, my progress on it. And here is what it looks like. I am absolutely astounded at my progress on this. So this came with me yesterday to the day retreat. 2 or 3 people were asking and wanted to see it, so I'm always happy to oblige and show my pieces. And I got 111 stitches in yesterday at the day retreat. I've been working up these wee birdies here, just taking that arch up. I think I filled in along here. I'll try and put in a picture of where I was last week, now that I know how to do that. And then I was filling up these wee birds. So there's only a week to go in this. And then it's going away for a while, because it's had 4 months of attention. May, it's not quite May to September, another old television series, May to August. So what's that, May, June, July, 4 months of almost daily attention, and it has been well worth it. I am absolutely delighted with my progress on it. And you can't, I love this bit down here, this trellis work. You can't really see, but there's sparkle going on in there, and it's under the light. It looks lovely. It does catch the sparkle. Very happy. So Andrew, I'm very sorry for you that you're not actually running the marathon. Must be a huge crushing disappointment after all your hard work. Totally understand why you're not doing it. I mean, it makes total sense. Why would you move house and cross the world at the same time? Yeah, I wouldn't put anybody through that kind of stress level. But thank you for sharing your training with us, your journey on this, and inspiring this challenge, this Whip Into Shape. I was delighted to take part in it, and I've got 1 more week to go. So enjoy your last week. You must enjoy it, you wouldn't do it otherwise. Enjoy your last week of training, and thank you. So that was Saga. Right, what else did Stuart work on? There's my notes. Oh, Frost and Velvet, the Stitch is So Beautiful challenge. It's sitting next to me here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Right. There was a lovely lady came up to me yesterday and totally blamed me for the fact that she has bought this. All I said was, always happy to enable. And I'm delighted you've bought it as well. I won't say your name because I never asked if I could, but you know who you are, and you obviously you clearly watch. So, first of all, thank you for watching. It is much appreciated, and I'm absolutely delighted you're going to be joining the journey on this wonderful Santa piece. This is from Stitch is So Beautiful. We'll tilt it a bit. It's a Victorian style Santa, and he is gorgeous. I was inspired by this by a dear Stitchy friend who has had a rather traumatic week this week, but fortunately she is on the road to recovery from the trauma of the week, which I'm very pleased about, as is she, no doubt. But thank you for the inspiration of buying this. And I am in the Stitch is So Beautiful monthly challenge on this, which is a very straightforward challenge, to be honest. Stitch 250 stitches a week, post your pictures weekly on a Friday, and you get a free chart at the end of the month. And then also you go into a draw for, I think it is, to get 12 charts over the course of a year, which is very, very generous of the designer. So that's called Frost and Velvet. And we are now, because I've started my next week of stitching as well now. Oh, excuse me, my stomach's woken up. I've reached 1,000 odd stitches. 1,004 out of 360,000 give me 0.28%. And it's full coverage. So it scratches that itch every week now, which is great. Which reminds me of something else that happened yesterday, which we'll talk about in a second. Right. There's a stray thread, and I've nowhere to put it that's not going to be in the way, so it can just stay. So I'm stitching this in a piece of 25 count, I think it is, 25 count gridded even weave. And there's my progress. So we've got the blue of the kind of path in the woods. This here is the cuff or the corner of his sleeve coming in, so it's coming at us. What I'm doing with this, I'm stitching cross country, primarily picking my next colours from the bottom, and then just working them where in the square that they're in, and then just going where it appears next to run out of thread. Hence why you're getting funny shapes and things like that. But it's working for me in this piece. There we go, bring it in. Nice shading going on as well in the fur around his sleeve. When it decides it wants to focus. There we go, that's a good boy. And we were talking yesterday about how we use gridded fabric. For me, I stitch on the grid when I start my squares. So my bottom left hand corner actually is stitched on the grid. So my 100 stitches will be, in this down here, my 100 stitches will cover that grid and be inside the top and the other side, if that makes sense. It does to me. And it did yesterday when I was explaining to the lady in question. So making good progress in that, very happy. So I got a few stitches last night when I came home, and I'll probably get another few today to take me up to at least my 250 for this week. Because I stitched this in the days Andrew doesn't do his training, because I do like to have something other than my weekly whip that I'm working on. So it's quite good just to get a few stitches into that. So I'm busy. If you hear squeaks, it's just me busy fiddling with my Lowry. The light keeps getting in and out today. I don't know why that is. I've got Mickey on today. Maybe that's upsetting everything. Let me switch Mickey off and see what that does. Oh well. I don't know if that did anything or not. I'm not sure. I'm going to pause you a second. Hang on. Right, there's no change. But I think you can still see what I'm showing, so that's the main thing. That's what matters most. Right. My other piece I worked on last week, I finished. Whoa, we have a finish. And it was a retreat. Oh no, wait a minute, hang on. Rewind that section. I want to talk a wee bit about, when I was talking about full coverage, there's a young lady there yesterday I was speaking to, who tells me she watches my channel, which is lovely, so thank you for that. And she has decided, well, almost decided, hasn't pushed the button yet, but she's nearly tipped over the edge of buying her first full coverage chart. which I was delighted to hear. I do hope you go ahead. I look forward to it, seeing how. Well, I know exactly the one you're buying. We had a chat about that yesterday, and I think you made a good decision there. So do keep me apprised of progress and what you decide. I'm so pleased you're taking that plunge, so thank you. I'll show the piece I'm going to start to finish, and then we'll have a wee chat at the day retreat, I think, because it kind of leads into, because it's finished at the day retreat, my first ever retreat finish. Oh, so pleased, happy days. So this is the just one more chapter piece from Puntini Puntini. I'm not going to show you what it's going to look like, because it now looks like what it's going to look like. Did that make any sense? It did in my head. So this has been stitched in a piece of 32 count even weave, using, what did I use? The Royal Broderie thread I got from Lindsay at Blush and Pink Stitches. And here it is. So this week I did all this lettering. I did the wee girlie in the middle who's reading a book. And I did the clock and the book. So yesterday at the day retreat I finished the pages of the book and I finished the clock. Because I'd outlined the clock, so I thought, well, that's good retreat stitching just to fill in, because it's all one colour. And I'm so pleased with how it looks. I'm busy peering over just seeing what you can see. As you can see, it all in all its beauty. So Paola, thank you for this design. I love it. So this will now get turned into a book cushion. Well, not quite now, but between now and Christmas it will become a book cushion. I have some nice book fabric that I'm going to surround it with and put as a cushion itself. Put a wee book in it, wrap it up, and that's Christmas sorted for my lovely next door neighbour. But I'm very pleased how that turned out. I think it's rather nice. And it's a finish. And I haven't had a finish for ages. I mean, as you know, my stitching is not driven by finishes, but it's always nice to get one. So happy days on that. Very, very pleased. So the chart is now done. So that might be a giveaway. You never know. Right, day retreat. What happened at the day retreat? Oh, the day retreat was fantastic. We all turned up. The eager stitchers of Scotland descended. Well, 20 of us descended on Castle Carey Hotel near Cumbernauld. And we were in the big room that we used for the retreats, which was great. There was so much space. The Cameron room, is it Cameron Lounge? Cameron Suite. Massive room. We had 4 round tables. We weren't quite the Knights of St Arthur, or King Arthur rather. I'm canonising that King Arthur here. I don't think he was ever raised to the altars. And we sat and we chatted and blethered and stitched and caught up. One of the biggest joys yesterday was we had at least 4 new people there who had never been to the retreat or to the day retreats, and it was so nice to meet them. And again, they were all doing a variety of different stitching. There was a museum bookshelf, an Amy Stuart one. What else was going on? There was a Dimensions kit of a samurai. There was a lovely African one, an African vista with giraffes and done in the most stunning red fabric. That's going to be gorgeous when it's finished. And what was the other piece as I wandered around the room? Oh, bother. It's too early in the day. There was one other piece and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. And I did see it. I'm so sorry. And I know exactly where you were sitting. Fiddlesticks is gone. It might come to me, you never know. But anyway, it was so lovely to meet these new people. And I do hope you will come back to us and become part of the Scottish Stitching Retreat community. Because it's great fun. And yesterday was a great day. The day disappeared. It was 8 till 5. We had a break for lunch. The hotel provided lunch for us as part of it. So lovely lentil soup. And then I had steak pie. Oh my goodness, their steak pie is to die for. We usually get that on the Friday night. Yum, 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 yum. Num, 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 num. I did enjoy it, as you can gather. And there's plenty of tea and coffee and juice as well. So we were well catered for. It's always nice to go there. The staff look after us. They always enjoy seeing us. Well, they give the impression of enjoying seeing us anyway. I think they do. We've got to know some of them over the years that we've been there. So yes, it was a lovely day. As you see, I got a fair bit of stitching in. I finished my Just One More Chapter, and I stitched in Saga. There was various projects being stitched on. There was some full coverage. We had 4 Heavenly Beasts was being stitched on. There was a Cartographica being stitched on from Tilton Crafts. 4 Heavenly Beasts was from Heaven and Earth Designs, who, not to enable anything, but they have their Labour Day sale on just now. If you're in the market for a new full coverage, go and have a look. What else did I see being stitched on? There was a lovely Stacey Nash piece on 36 count. There was 1/1 stitching involved in that piece on dark fabric, by the way. Aye, that had my eyes boggling a wee bit. There was the Haid Sal was in evidence. There was a lovely wee bunny hopping along quite happily, which was looking tremendous. So yeah, it was a good day. I really enjoyed it. And one of the joys to me was some of the people coming to me were telling me that they watched my channel and that they were enjoying watching it as well, which is tremendous. That's very encouraging for me. So thank you for that. I'm glad you do. I'm sure you'll tell me if I do something you don't like. So I have no qualms over that. You all know me well enough. So yes, it was a great day. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Set me up. So my next event will be the Tartan Retreat down in Dumfries at the Crichton in October, which I'm looking forward to. My first foray to that. Not to Dumfries, obviously. I lived in Dumfries for many years. I lived and worked there. My parents are buried there, so it has many memories, does the town of Dumfries. And then I'll have the Scottish Stitching Retreat itself will be in November back in Castlecarey, so lots to look forward to in the year, what remains of the year ahead. We're nearly the end of August. Aye, 2/3 of the year has gone again. I don't know how that happens. Right, enough ramblings. That's to snatch a phrase from another well-known floss tuber. That's what razzled my berries this week. The Stitching Day retreat yesterday. Lovely time. Right, and I hope the person whose berries normally get razzled, you will think about joining us one day, because it would be lovely to meet you in real life. Right, on to the shelf. Let's have a look to my left. I'm doing well in the rambling here. That's Hall. I can sit there first. So, the shelf this week, we've got some charts and a kit. We'll do the charts first because they had to be in the top. So, I went to my Mirabilia pile and pulled off a couple of Nora Corbetts and a couple of Miras. So, I'll show you the Noras. I've done both of these. These are gracing a wall in Dumfries of one of my mum's friends. So, and I love both of these pieces. They were tremendous. These are both Pixie Blossoms, I think, as he checks the back. Yes, Pixie Blossoms. 196 and 195. I hadn't clocked that. And they're from 2013. So the oldies but goodies. Bella myself, oldie but a goodie. So we have Buttercup, lovely yellow one. I do remember stitching. I loved her. I loved all the beads that were kind of round. You see the curved edges here in her dress. She was a lovely one to do. Nice colours. I don't know why I've kept the chart, but it's not like I'm going to be stitching it again, because I like the chart. I like things. And the other one is Zinnia. These were the faceless pixies. Yes, they are faceless ones, which can be a wee bit creepy, but I think they look very good. So this was a lovely one to do. Get some light on there now, we'll bring it in. I love doing this flower that comes over the top here. As always, the reality is much more impressive than the picture. I will never yet understand to this day why Nora allows such poor pictures to be put in her charts. And then in the Facebook groups, sometimes you're very lucky to see the model stitcher will share the pictures from her from when she stitched it, and oh my god, jaw-dropping beauty is to be seen there. So that's a couple of Noras, and there's a couple of Miras that I haven't stitched yet. So this the first I'm going to show you is Bianca Bella. Nora went through a phase of doing some of the fairy tale characters. Bianca Bella is Snow White, no surprise there. No, she's not. I'm getting my fairy tales mixed up. Is this Sleeping Beauty? I'm not sure. There's an apple involved. It might be. Oh gosh, it's that long ago. Anyway, it's either Snow White or Sleeping Beauty. No, it's not Sleeping Beauty. She's got no. That's Princess and the Pea. But Nora has done Sleeping Beauty, so I think this must be Snow White. There's a story in the back in honour of her mother who stitched in the palace orchard. Biancabella visits a place where her mother once pricked her finger and made a wish. So, there's a good floss list in the back. I think I bought this off eBay because the floss list is ticked by somebody. I think it's my ticks actually, when I looked at it. But there's Biancabella. Lovely one. Nice kind of pale green dress there. She's also in a hurry. The way the streamer's behind her as she walks forward, holding the apple. She's a beauty. I liked all these fairy tale princess ones that Nora did. So there was that one which I have, and then there was Adia, the Garden Fairy. This is an oldie as well. This is from this is number 41, MD 41. Do we have a date? 1998. That's nearly 30. Oh God, that's nearly 30 years ago. Oh dear me, I wish I hadn't looked. I still think the 90s was only yesterday. So I do the arithmetic in my head, and I think, oh my, I want to cry. Anyway, what have we got about? What's it? A wee story in Adia. So, if you venture into the woods at the golden hours of dawn, you may catch a glimpse of this benevolent fairy as she sows the sweet-smelling earth with cobweb strands of the morning dew and the rarest of flower seeds. The handmaiden to Titania, queen of the fairies, this little nymph looks beautiful with or without wings. Place her in a garden room and give her to someone who loves watching seeds turn into something beautiful. There she is. She's a stunner. All of the golds and yellows in the dress and that kind of whatever it is she's holding in front of her breast, very beaded, which is tremendous. So there's that. I've always liked this one. Santhya's charts off the shelf of surprises this week. You can go back over there. And then the kit this week is my old friend Teresa Wentzler. No, I've sorted this one. Threads are on floss drops. Nice muted palette as always with Teresa, so nice threads there. So this is for the Castle Sampler. Ali, you're doing this as I recall, and Joanne, you finished this, and I remember you brought it to the retreat and showed it, and it was beautiful. So the castle, what's it look like? The Castle Sampler rather. It's very samplerish, sampler-esque. There we go. A lovely border as always, nice castle in the middle, and a kind of medieval scene going on in here, and lots of tracery and detail around the border with the alphabet and other goodies to be stitched. Another beauty. With an amazing key as always. And I showed you the floss. Not a lot there, is there? Yeah. We have a key. And there's the key. 3 columns, and then there's a bit more on another page. 3 columns of A4 on A4. So that's the blends. Scary biscuits. Yeah, I was always doing my sums. And I was working out, because I made a wee start, which I'm about to show you, on the provided fabric. So I've done one of the corners at the bottom. I'm hearing a car. My nose is bothering me. Somebody started up the car engine for some reason. Hey ho, to be examined, to be explored in a wee while. Right, so I've done the border. Let me rephrase that. I've done one of the windows in the border at the bottom with the sun, because I wanted to see what that would turn out like. And it turned out not bad actually. I've even done the back stitching. So that's on 28. I'm saying 28 count. I think it's 28 was provided. It has a look of 28 count, so I'm using the call for threads. So that's got quite a good start, to be honest. So there's that. That was a surprise from the shelf of surprises. So I hope you enjoyed that little brief interlude on it. I did. I always like putting my hand in there and see what comes out, as they say. Right, what are we doing next? haul and an unboxing. So one of my fabrics of the month came in from Kate at Sparkly's. I do like Kate's fabric, and as you'll remember I switched to opalescent earlier this year. So here's what came in this month. This was waiting for me when I came home yesterday. Nice. It's coming over as kind of lilac on there, which not quite. In my eyes it's a more a kind of greeny colour, I think, in real life, but it is what it is. There's a wee bit of sparkle, can you see? Aye, you can just. So that came in, nice fat quarter of even weave, 18 by 27 and 28 count opal. Very nice. And it can join its friends. And then we have the unboxing, and this is an unboxing for both you and me, because this came yesterday as well, and I haven't opened it yet. I just saw it sitting, and I said, oh, Cotton and Twine have delivered. So the lovely ladies at Cotton and Twine very kindly sent me this monthly subscription box. This must be the September one. I'm just starting to open. Isn't that an exciting sound? It's like when you open an Amazon parcel as well, and you think, ooh, what did I order? Which of my particular Amazon orders came today? Yeah, can you tell I use Amazon quite a lot? Anyway, so this is a monthly subscription box, full of goodies as usual, beautifully wrapped, make a lovely gift. There's a nice fridge freezer paper. So let's see what we've got. Alright, I do remember seeing a sneak preview, but I've forgotten what that was now. So let's have a look. As always, I've got it upside down to me. Oh, cuteness overload. Would you look at this beauty? Don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but oh, that's going to show. That's going to be hanging somewhere. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So sweet. It's what is this? Oh, Gisela Graham London ornament. I've seen her Christmas ornaments at Dobby's, which are very sweet. This is a nice Halloween one. Isn't that lovely? So this is in the box. Oh, cute. Some Earl Grey tea, which I'm very partial to, and we have some jelly beans. 36 huge flavours of jelly beans. Oh no, it was Skittles vodka I made once, not jelly beans. That was fun. It was nice too, by the way. Right, so what's the design? Funnily enough, it's Halloween. And as always, we get everything we need. So here's what it's going to look like. This is the August 2025 box. A nice spooky Halloween design, isn't it beautiful? Now there is a code if you're a first time buyer of these boxes, which I'll put in as well. It's first 15. I'll link all this stuff in when I'm uploading the video later for it. But there is a code for a first time buyer of first 15, which gives you 15% off your purchase. Now I have the option of giving this away or keeping it. No giving this away, this is being kept, this one. So there we go, it's a beauty, I do like it. We have the chart, I'm not showing the chart, that'd be naughty. And then we have the actual stuff to stitch it with. So we've got the nice piece of 32 count linen. It comes with 16 count Ada or 32 count linen, so I went for the linen. For no other reason than that, I just quite like stitching the linen, I don't mind stitching Ada either. And the threads and needles, so there's a colour palette. Nice Halloween mix. And a very nice paper bag. God, it's showing my age, I get excited over a paper bag. East of India. It says East of India in the back. And thank you in the front. I should be thanking the ladies there because it's very kind of you to send me this. So there was that. And then, because you get everything you need to finish it, we've got a lovely frame here, which when I put the fabric back in the bag, I'll show you the frame. I'm picking that design and that wee ornament, I think they're tremendous. And nice dark frame, stand-up frame there to put the finished piece in. I'm building up a wee collection of these, and it's not like it's going to be a quick stitch. There's a fair bit of stitching going on. And it's a lovely clear chart. It's two-sided on A5 paper, so it's nice and big. One side is coloured, the other side is black and white. I generally prefer black and white charts. Just my taste. I know others prefer colour, so all tastes are catered for. And inside there, inside the wee booklet, the comprehensive instructions on how to stitch a piece and how to finish it. So there you go. I'll link all this below, so if you're interested in it, go get. But I love this. I think that's brilliant. So happy with that. Right. So that's the unboxing. Very happy. Right then, let's just put that to the side. I need to go find a home in the sewing room. That's going to be a challenge. That sewing room. Well, you don't see the sewing room. You know what I'm talking about. Right. Bag chatter next, I think, if that's alright with you all. Yeah, I'll put in some bags kind of here and here that I've made this week. What was the timestamp of that? 50 bags. 50, 40. Right, so what bags are you going to see? There's a kind of Lord of the Rings. I forgot to do this last week. So there's Lord of the Rings themed bags that I made for a young man who wanted 4 of those. So they were done and posted out. What else is going up? There's a nice strawberry one. There's what else have I made this week? The strawberry one. There's I can't mind now. Oh, there's a Nightmare Before Christmas Jack, Celestial Jack, which was collected yesterday and sent off on its journey. So yeah, you'll see those there. I think they were all full fabric bags. Yes, I don't think I've done any vinyl ones this week. I don't remember cursing and swearing as I clipped for Scotland. I was folded over the binding. And I ordered some fabric this week, which I thought I would share with you. So what have we got? Let's have a look. So we've got some nice gnomes or gonks, depending on the part of the country or the world you're in. There we go. That's rather nice. Nice and pink. So I can get a couple of bags out of that. I think I've got a metre of each of these just about. Nice solar system one, or planets one. What did I get this? Looks like I got a fair bit of this by the look of it. Oh, I thought they were very generous in their cutting. So there was this lovely piece, which makes a smashing bag. I also ordered wadding this week, my fusible interfacing, and more calico, because I use a cream calico for the lining. A lovely flower print, which I think is very pretty. And there we go. And a nice Christmas. We're beginning to head into the Christmas season now. So this is probably my first Christmas, and this is what is this? Timeless Treasures piece. I don't know if it's a Donna Gelsinger painting or not. The reference has got Donna's name in it because it's spelled with one N. But it's a nice Christmassy piece. Lots of Christmas things going on. There's trees and presents, bikes. There's a Santa somewhere, I think. Can't be Christmas without Santa. I'm sure he's there somewhere. So there's that. And then for a bag that's been made this week, how much of this have I got? Oh, I think I've got a metre of this. No, it's a half metre of this one either, so I've got enough for the one bag in question, because somebody, a nice lady, a lovely lady asked for some Alice fabric, so we found this and thought this would be a nice one to do. So I got a half metre of that, which I'll get a bag out of for her. Alright, so as always, if you're interested in a bag from me, please do get in touch through Instagram, email. Both the links for my email and Instagram are below. It's all Stuarts and Stitches. Email is stuartsandstitches@gmail.com. Instagram Stuarts and Stitches, where I post I forgot to say this at the beginning, where I post most days with my temperature stitching and Saga progress. So you can get in touch with me over there. We can have a chat around what you might want, what it's going to cost. Once we agree, I will then make your bag for you and get it out to you. Sadly, to my American friends, this will come as no surprise. It's probably a common theme this week. I've seen it all over Instagram as well. I am not equipped by any form, manner or means to be handling the complexities of the US tariff situation, so I'm not even sure where these would fall within it. And with the removal of the de minimis, the $800 ceiling, then our floor, I'm not quite sure what way around that is, I really do not want to run the risk of you or me falling afoul of your customs situation. So until that clarifies and is sorted out and what's going on where, very sadly I cannot send any over the pond to the States. The reason I'm saying that is because I have done, some people have come to me before asking for a couple of bags because it makes it a bit more cost effective for you from the postage situation, because it's roughly, at the moment, about £14 for tracked, £14 sterling for tracked delivery over to you, which is roughly about, I don't know, give or take $30. And 2 bags makes it worthwhile. 1 bag, it's not really cost effective for you, sadly, due to the postage. And with the tariffs now kicking in, it's probably going to be even less so until that resolves. But anybody else in the world, I will post. I don't mind. Right, so as I said, if any of that you're interested in, get in touch. We'll see what we can do. Right, plans. What are Stuart's plans? Well, now that Pantini is out of the way, the one more chapter, I can focus on Aleri's piece, the E. I don't have a picture of that somewhere to hand. I don't know where that's got. Oh, it's over. I'm looking at it. Oh, it's this one here, Letters from Mermaids by Nora. So I have finished all of that, and I'm in the halfway bar of the E, so I'm coming up now and along there. So that, well, September was going to be Sam for September, but we'll see how we go on this week, because when did September begin? This is what, the 24th? It's 24th today, so next Sunday will be the 31st of August. Let's see what I can get done in a week, along with everything else that's going on. What is going on next week? Not much, to be honest. I think we've got a quiet week. Last week was fairly busy. It was physio on Wednesday. Tuesday and Thursday are normal days for things we get up to. Wednesday I was at the physio for her prodding around the upper right quadrant of my back and to give me more exercises to do. She tells me because it's sore where it's sore now, she says, your exercises are working, it should be sore there. And I thought, oh, really? However, she's the expert, so we'll take her at her word. Friday I was up in Halbeath near Dunfermline because my chariot was getting its first service. So that was fine. I only had to hang around for an hour and a half while it got poked and prodded and oiled up. I think the big thing did was an oil change. So that was all fine. I had a service plan, so I didn't have to part with any money. So that was always good. I just took a book with me. I'm reading a Joe Abercrombie book just now, Devils. Oh, it's great fun. It was a bit slow when I started it, but oh, loving it. What's the premise? Oh, I really can't tell the premise without giving away the story. It's one of Joe's fantasy novels, and it is such good fun. I am enjoying it. There are various quirks. We have an elf in it. There's a magician who prefers to be called a sorcerer. Is that the right way around? Or is it the other way around? Sorcerer prefers to be called a magician. We have a warrior who cannot die. We have a young princess who had been in hiding, although she didn't know she was in hiding, and is now heading back to her kingdom. And her dodgy, maladjusted family are trying to stop her getting there and taking her out. So all good fun, swashbuckling fun with magic flung into the mix. Thoroughly enjoying it. So those are the plan. That's my plans, because there's nothing else in the dance card for next week, which is good. Always like a quiet week. So a couple of bags to rustle up for people, and lots of stitching to do as always. Probably some knitting and crocheting as well. And I've just started watching Hostage on Netflix, which with Suran Jones, whom I absolutely love in a television series. She's so good. So I started watching that last night, so that'll be good. A bit more of that to catch up on. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else to tell you about. Where are we time-wise? Oh, we're just about to hit the hour. 45 seconds to go, so that's good. Right, I'll get this edited, get the sound up again. That seems to be working for you all. Thank you for all those who commented and encouraged me to let me know that was the case. The sound has improved, so very happy with that. I'm now going to go and play with my farm a little bit in my heyday, just to get the farm up to date. It suffered a wee bit yesterday because I was away all day, so I didn't get as much love and attention as it needs, but I'll sort that out just shortly. And I'll see you next Sunday. As always, please do leave a comment below. Let me know what's been going on, what you're working on, what crafting you're doing. It could be stitching or anything, or even if you're just catching up on your Flosstube, which we all do. We all fall behind. So it's time. We just need a wee bit of time to catch up. And I'll be back next Sunday with the next update. So thanks for spending time with me. I've enjoyed the opportunity of spending time with you, and happy stitching.